Cu toții cunoaștem despre zidul Berlinului și despre reunificarea Germaniei din 1990. Reunificarea politică de fapt nu a fost prevăzută de nimeni, iar toate programele sociale și economice, ca plata pensiilor, îndemnizațiilor, unificarea monedei, care au fost aplicate în partea de est, erau îndreptate doar spre a sprijini populația Germaniei de est, care era mai puțin dezvoltată. Iată ce ne spun profesorii germani despre aceste proiecte.
Stages through which Germany passed to arrive at reunification.
It was a long process, and we could say that the process of reunification is not yet fully accomplished, but the first steps were very decisive. And I would say, first of all, of course, it needed a revolution. So the breakdown of the regime of the GDR, and it came through a popular movement. Then next step, and then we are already moving into the mechanics of the reunification, was in the spring and summer of 1990, the unification of the currency, the economic system, and the social system. All three are very important steps because they already set the stage for the political reunification that came later. From that point on, there was only one currency, which was the Deutsche Mark. Also, the economic system of the Bundesrepublik was extended to the eastern part of the country.
This was done before the political unification?
Yes. It was a first step, but as you can see, it is already very, very fundamental in the fact that practically the economic system of the GDR was abolished. That also went along with the unification of the social systems. So retirement plans or health insurance, all these systems that had existed in the East were overnight integrated into the Western system. Of course, not equal conditions, but the responsibility, the social responsibility, was extended from the West to the East. It is really astonishing that the chronology of these steps was economy first and then the political unification.
Din următorul interviu o să aflăm că germanii din Est nu au fost niciodată privați de dreptul de a avea cetățenie. Acest fapt le era asigurat prin Constituție. Modelul de reunificare a Germaniei ne explică că actele juridice erau eliberate într-un timp foarte scurt.
The East Germans received West German citizenship immediately, practically, correct?
Actually, they had it already because the West German Grundgesetz, the constitution, had always said these are Germans in East Germany. When they moved to the West, they immediately had a German citizenship. So they never lost it in a way.
They never lost it. To be registered officially, how long did it take?
Well, that depended. Usually they had to go to a certain place in Gießen, for instance, or in West Berlin. They had to register. They had to tell their story, why they had fled, for political reasons, for economic reasons, for reasons of rejoining with their families, and that made a kind of difference because they were categorized into so they never were sent back to East Germany, but if you had been the state, or if you gained the status of a political refugee or things like that, you got more money, you got more help by.
But it was a matter of days, weeks, months. When would they be able to work, for example, and get a job?
2 or 3 days to get you through the process, and sometimes it took you weeks or even months.
România nu asigură cetățenie prin Constituție, oferind populației afectate de pactul Molotov-Ribbentrop dreptul la redobândire, acesta fiind, de fapt, un model greșit și o nedreptate față de românii din Basarabia, care au fost ocupați. Vizita și discuția cu mai mulți profesori, dar și oameni de rând din Germania, ne-a dat ideea de a cere acest lucru de la Guvernul României, Iar din sondajul realizat de către noi, observăm că circa 75-80% dintre cei intervievați sunt de acord cu această strategie. Deci România ar trebui să se inspire și să preia modelul german de reunificare.
Came into being on the 1st of July 1990. That symbol of reunification was the German, the Deutschmark, which was a very strong symbol for the West Germans, because they were quite kind of proud of their Deutschmark, because it was very strong compared to other European currencies, and it symbolized economic uplift and uprising after the Second World War. And so it was for many East Germans. It was a kind of symbol of things changing to get some Deutschmarks in return for a very weak East German marks. So that of course was key and central in negotiations in case of a reunification. What happens to pensions, what happens to wages, what happens to what people had put aside. The East German marks would be transformed into West German 1-to-1 in a ratio that was very favorable for East Germany, and the pensions would be expanded. Well, that has just been established 3 or 4 years ago, a minimum wage law, but that didn't exist in 89.